Back to the Bisha Hotel with more of our TIFF coverage with, of course, Jennifer Jung. Jennifer, you've been down there 3 days now at TIFF. You've got to be feeling the vibes of, what's happening right where you are.
I am. I mean, the Bisha Hotel, this is a celebrity magnet during TIFF, and we love highlighting Canadian talent because there is so much of it in our beautiful country, including Tasha Hubbard, who is the director of Meadowlarks. This is it was originally a documentary, Birth of a Family, but she's turned it into a feature. Tasha, welcome to CP24 Breakfast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I understand that Meadowlarks had its public screening yesterday, so that was a big moment.
We had our premiere Sunday night, our second
one yesterday.
Late last night.
So thank you for joining us so early.
I'm so really pleased to be here.
So I want to ask you, Birth of a Family, this was a documentary that you did, about the 60s scoop, but with Meadowlarks, this is fictionalized. However, it focuses on 4 siblings, babies who were basically ripped from their families and taken to different places, one overseas. Why did you decide to kind of turn the documentary into a feature?
I had been wanting to start working in scripted and, have a few projects, but they're, much more ambitious, they're complicated, and, the producer saw the film at the Hot Docs Festival and said, have you ever thought about working in fiction? This film was shot, like a drama. Is this something you'd want to lean into?
Right.
And was there anything that I wasn't able to do with the documentary? And I said, I'd love to have been more deliberate with the camera, and I'd love to dive into the a fictional character's backstory, because we negotiated boundaries with the actual family about what they wanted to talk about, and we all decided collectively we're just going to focus on this moment of reconnecting, and their fun and the love and the all of that. And so, but with the feature, we were able to go into a bit more without you never want to hit people over the head with things. It's really about how can we weave this into the storytelling, about what the impacts have been for them. But at its heart, it's really 4 siblings who are trying to find connection, trying to get over that gap of time they didn't have a childhood together. So what can they do now as people in their 50s? When you're at that age where you're looking ahead and also behind, and you're looking, what do I still need to do?
And what's missing from me?
And what's missing, exactly.
What do I do with the pieces of my identity? I mean, you handled this film with such care, respect, and love, and I must admit, I watched it and I cried a few times.
That's what we
it wasn't an ugly cry, it was a beautiful cry. There was that moment on the bridge when one of the sisters, I think it was Connie, was scared to cross over, and Marianne guides her over, and then when Gwen steps into the water because she just can't take it, and they all surround her. I mean, really beautiful moments. Tasha, I understand that you were a 60s scoop survivor, so I have to ask how much of your own personal story you managed to weave into this narration.
I think I just thought of my own history as one of multitudes of people's different experiences through. I mean, there's, they're not sure how many, but I asked a researcher, and she said at least 25,000 went through. So, I've met many people over the years and been told many stories, and I just wove that in. But there were little moments, like when I first met my birth mother, I was 16 years old, and I had imagined someone exactly like me, that looked exactly like me. And she didn't. She has her own look. And I had this moment of this little, a tiny bit of doubt, and then I saw her hands, and I'm like, oh, those are my hands.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, this is my mom. It just settled me. And so I took that as the two sisters who didn't immediately see themselves in each other, but then had the same hands. And there was just something, when you grow up never resembling anyone around you, there's something about that. And so, moments like that I put in. But, these are 4 really beautiful fictional characters that my co-writer Emil Scher and I spent a lot of time thinking, who are these people, what are they wanting, what are they needing, and yeah, so it's you know, I have those little moments,
Yeah.
but they're their own people now.
And I mean, these 4 characters are played so beautifully by this
my
cast of
gosh,
Indigenous
yeah.
actors. Talk a bit about what it was like to work with them on this film.
Yeah, you know, a few of them I had known before. Michael Greas, on my very first movie, that he was one of the leads, and we realized we were distantly related, and we're from the same area, and so, you know, we've kept in touch over the years, and same with Michelle Thrush, I've known her. But Alex and Carmen were new. Alex Rice and Carmen Moore, and you know, but we were lucky to have time. The 4 siblings, myself, and co-writer, go through the script. What are the spaces? You know, what are they wanting to put in and imbue these characters? What experiences do they have that they could relate to? And you know, they just brought so much. Like, of course, their talent. They've been working, you know, in amazing films over the years in television, but they also really brought their commitment and their hearts, and you know,
it's evident. You can really see it and feel it. The emotional depth. I mean, I got to warn you, if you do get to manage to see Meadowlarks, bring the tissue box. You will definitely cry, but it is also such a beautiful film. Tasha Hubbard, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your first feature. I'm sure we're going to see more from you in the future.
I hope so.
Happy TIFF. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.